So, where do I start with? uh, I it's kind of funny because I've always been fascinated with internet conspiracies, and I know that sounds kind of crazy for an intellect, for a person that has an IQ above a certain point. Maybe I don't, but I've always been fascinated by conspiracy theories. Obviously, I do not believe in them. That's why I'm, but I am fascinated to the point to where they are kind of like living, and maybe I've said this before. They are living novels. But I've always, it's kind of fun to watch people in real life play out a role like that, and you don't really know if they're being honest or not. In other words, do flat earthers really believe, or are they just? And I have a theory that they are just, you know, part of a sort of an internet troll club or a troll cult. It seems to me it's more of a cult to me than it is a real society, because there don't actually seem to be many standards. There's no, like, if you ask a flat earther where is your approved, where's your official map? There's, if you do a search on the internet, it's like official flat Earth. My keyboard's not lit up. I can't see. Flat Earth map, and you get all this stuff. There is no, true. They're not. None of them are to the same scale. You know what I mean? All the continents are different sizes. There's no official that I can tell. This is probably the closest. I've tried to do a little research on this, and most of them will say, well, the United Nations map is the closest. But you look at it, and it's got this weird. You see, Australia is like on the other. Well, it's way over there instead of where I'm used to it being, I guess, looking at a globe. But anyway, I just thought it's fun. It's funny. And I'll be honest with you, I think um, I almost feel like I feel like I'm being dumbed down just making a video about it. But I wanted to I don't see any of my friends talking about it or making, and it may be that you feel the same way, that you feel like it makes you seem, just talking about it makes you feel dumb, you know. So I thought what I would do is kind of poke fun at it, and that's sort of my response or my reaction, is to sort of, poke fun at something if it seems ridiculous to me. So I found this website, and it's an Antipodes map or interactive. You can go and it will show you the exact opposite. Let me scroll out here. Like, you can pick a place on Earth. Like, I'll just go down here to Tennessee where I am, and I'll put the little guy. And I think it's funny because the guy's got his butt in the air. I don't know if you can see that. Let's go down here near my place, and we'll see. Well, the exact opposite point on the Earth is here in the Indian Ocean. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Australia, just to show the point that obviously if the Earth was flat, you wouldn't have results like this, right? It would just be showing dirt. What would it show if the Earth were flat? Where would be the opposite point on Earth? But it's interesting, and you can do this in reverse. You can pick Australia, and obviously it's going to be out in the. I say obviously. Can I do that? I guess I have to pick it over here. Oops. Let's do this. Let's go over to Australia and click Australia. Yeah, it's going to be in the North Atlantic. That's what I thought. So then I start thinking, or one of the things that I find interesting is that sometimes I'll ask them questions, and I have to check my software sometime. I'll ask them questions like, well, where is we have all these pictures of Earth from space, and they're like, oh, they're all faked. They think NASA fakes. Everything is fake, right? And you find that this conspiracy plays into all of the others. In other words, you say, well, what about the sun and the moon? Well, we didn't go to the moon. You see, it's kind of like when you were little, and my mother used to tell me, never tell a lie, because it's just easier to tell the truth. In other words, when you tell a lie, you're always having to remember what you said and cover your tracks, right? So if you say that we went to the moon, then you have to say that we went to space, and it snowballs from there, right? So to cover your tracks, if you're a flat earther, you have to say that you didn't go to the moon, right? Because the moon is not that big to them. If you go to, where I did find this is kind of funny. This is a flat earth simulator. I don't understand that. I guess that's supposed to be the sun and the moon. But it's bizarre because it's like the moon follows the sun around. That's a good shot of what they think. They think the sun is just like 3,000 miles above the earth, and it's somehow being held, it's circling around, and gravity's not a thing, and I don't know what holds the sun in place. They don't believe in gravity. It's just bizarre, right? I mean, and I look at this and I say to myself, how can you have eclipses, lunar and solar eclipses, if they're always following each other around like that? It's bizarre. So people have gone through the trouble of making that, And if you were to take them, like, I saw this just a week ago. Where is it? Oh, the Russian satellite. Let me get. I'm getting all this other sound in my. Am I still? I'm getting all this other sound in my headphones. I didn't know where it was coming from. But this is a Russian satellite, weather satellite, that is far enough away. It's in geocentric orbit with the Earth. So let's make it full screen here and play. So, and it is far enough away that it can take a photograph of the Earth in one shot. One of the problems you have with, well, one of the issues. What am I trying to say? It's not a problem or an issue. It's just true. The NASA satellites have to take, shots of the Earth because they're too close to see the entire Earth, and stitch them together, right? So flat earthers claim that they have faked these photographs because of that. But now we have the Russian satellite that is literally, you can literally see clouds move, and of course they will say this is CGI. And of course, you have to know something about this. This rust-colored areas are vegetation. In other words, these are wavelength, these are spectrum. It takes this photograph in, I think, 3 different wavelengths of light, and this is obviously being used for scientific purposes. So the colors are not true colors; they are, well, uh, they are true based on that spectrum of light. But it's not. If you were in space, it wouldn't be, obviously vegetation would be rust colored, but it wouldn't be what your eye sees. But see, even that one thing there will be enough for a flat earther to say, that's fake, man. It's bizarre, and it almost, but it's very, this is the most beautiful picture, I guess this is a video, but it's obviously photographs that have been taken to create the video. So the satellite is in, I guess geocentric. What is it? It's stationary. So the appearance, if there's no apparent rotation of the Earth, it's just you're getting that daylight and darkness because of obviously the Earth is revolving around the sun. But anyway, and the Earth has rotation. But I feel silly even talking about it. You see, but isn't that just pretty? That's the Russian, I think it's called, what's it called? Let's go back here. This is Earth from Space, James Drake. It's the Electro-L weather satellite from Russia. It's beautiful, very impressive. But you see, there's nothing you can do. If you ask a flat earther to show you a photograph, flat Earth photograph, flat Earth pic, and you did images, you see, you get all these weird, that's obviously an artist, picture rendition. This is some sort of rendering. There's no, for some reason NASA can fake photographs, but flat earthers can't even fake a photograph. Is this what it looks like? What does their, they say there's a dome. That kind of brings me to a subject of, I was raised in the church my entire life, and one of the most bizarre things to me is how the flat earth people, this is another interactive thing, how the flat earth people say that the Bible teaches flat earth. Well, that's just craziness, because I was raised in the church, and when I was in my 20s, I actually became very interested. Vsauce, good Lord, he's always popping up. I became very, very interested in religion when I was in my 20s and studied, Hinduism, Buddhism. I went through all that sort of spiritual enlightenment stuff. I was raised a Southern Baptist. I was raised in the most strict conservative Baptist church you can find, okay, in rural Tennessee. Not once. I went to Sunday school as a baby. I grew up in church, okay? My mother would take me, and I would go to the nursery, and when I got old enough, I would go into Sunday school. And you remember the little flannel graph, the little flannel boards, and they told stories, Bible stories. Not one time did they ever teach the earth was flat. That this is one of the most bizarre things that in the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, these people, and the internet it's really a kind of an internet creation. I don't remember this. I don't ever remember hearing anything about. I'm 56 years old, and like I said, I've gone to church for 30, 40 years. I've heard hundreds and hundreds of sermons preached by different, Episcopalians, Catholics, Jews, Baptists, Methodists, Presbyterians, and not one time ever heard anything about. And the reason I say that is because these people, and most of them are not religious people. They use the Bible to somehow try to justify or what Well, the Bible teach. Well, when did you get religion? When you found the flat Earth cult? And the other bizarre thing about them, about flat Earth, is that flat earthers is that they're so obsessive about it. In other words, I'm a Christian. If I was going to talk about religion, I might talk about God's love, or the Ten Commandments, or all stories, or parables, or whatever. Jesus, remember him. But flat earthers never talk about anything but flat Earth. And it just it exposes really who they are. They're not, whatever sect they claim to be, Christians or whatever. They really aren't. They could be, I guess, otherwise. But a Christian doesn't go around. I mean, I've got over 2,000 videos, and this is the first time in 12 years I've been on YouTube. That long, and the first time I have ever talked about my religious beliefs in this manner. Okay, talking about how I was raised in the church and how all of that, just in detail. Okay, because I think it's a very personal thing, and I wouldn't create videos and try to use the Bible as a justification or as evidence of something like that. You see, and that and I promise you, if you know these people in real life, they don't practice they probably most likely don't practice Christianity or even talk about the Bible. It's only when they need the Bible. So I mean, they actually make Christians look bad. And it's embarrassing to me when I see these people start talking about religion and claiming that the Earth teaches when it doesn't. I guess these people think the Bible was written in whatever form of English they speak, but obviously it was written mostly in Hebrew and Aramaic, I guess, some of it. But from what I have seen and read about the Hebrew language, that it was actually not that. I mean, it's complicated, obviously, if you don't know it, but it wasn't. There weren't as many words to describe things, and I'm not a linguist, so I can't talk about it. But I'm just saying, from what I understand, it's easy for someone who wants to take and translate a word into something that they want it to say, like firmament, which is an English word. I'm not sure what word they claim the Hebrew word means firmament, but you see, it just goes. You go down a rabbit hole, and I don't know why I even made this video or why I'm even doing this. I just think it's funny, and I haven't even checked the. I do think it's interesting because, again, if you study these people, you realize that, and you study their whole movement, you realize that it just exists on the internet. It doesn't exist in real life. Like, I can't find anybody in real life that, like, from a religious standpoint, that preaches the Earth is flat. I can't find any scientist in real life that say the Earth is flat. I can't. It doesn't exist. Where's Creator Studio? It doesn't exist anywhere except on the internet, and it was, it hasn't existed there except for maybe the last, 10 years or so. Let's see if I've got any. But the Russians faked the. Yeah, how can you trust them with these pictures? Well, I mean, what is it if it's not a Russian satellite taking photographs? Are you saying that? Or I know what you're saying, but do the same. Go ahead and fake. I want to see what your best fake is of the flat Earth. just go ahead and do it. I give you permission to fake photographs of the flat Earth. uh, I want to see it. But anyway, I just thought this was funny. Pick a point on Earth, and you can see. If I can get my control. Let's try a few points here. Let's go to. Let's just go to the Holy Land, and we'll see what is opposite of Jerusalem. How about that? Let's click on Jerusalem. Oh, South Pacific. Oh. So we're not going to get many results from that then. But it does show you, so that if you zoom out, if I could get control over my, what's ironic here is that this would make a better flat Earth map than the one they have. Why didn't they at least pick a flat Earth map that matches the distances and is scaled properly? I don't get that. Why would they pick some weirdo map that doesn't make any sense? Where the distances don't work out. But we could go to Antarctica. Where's Antarctica? Down here. Well, I guess if you went to Greenland, let's go to Greenland. What is that? There you go. Now you're in Antarctica, right? Yeah. See, that spot is the exact opposite of Greenland, this point in Greenland. Well, what about Iceland? It's going to be close to the same, isn't it? Where'd Iceland go? Dang it, I keep scrolling. Gonna get used to there it is. Iceland. Yeah, pretty much the same thing. Down south. So, there you go, flat earthers. A website that proves the earth is round, because you couldn't have an opposite point on the map. If the earth was flat, this website wouldn't work. You couldn't. So is it just making up these points when I select Greenland? Is it just arbitrarily picking a point? Try to zoom out so you can see. I like the little guy with his butt in the air. It's almost like, hey, kiss my butt, flat earthers. So there you go. So that means, obviously, if I pick this point in North America, I wish it would quit zooming in. Nevada. Oh my God, I can't get used to that. Let's see. So Nevada is down southeast of Madagascar. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. I think the whole thing is funny. But I know you were being facetious. That's why I said when I was talking about that, I wasn't referring to you. But I just think it's bizarre to me, and why am I interested? I guess there seem to be so many people in the world that want to be a part of something different. And it's kind of sad in a way, really. It's sad because, why is it? It's sad because they can't. It's sad because they feel like they have to be a part of something that's just bizarre, instead of why not be a part of true, real science? Why not be excited that we've discovered all these. Oh, what was that other website I found? Oh, it's a interactive solar system. This one, I know what happened to me the other day. I ran out of memory on my computer. Is this it? Yeah, this one is cool. This one is awesome. This is called SolarSystemScope.com. And I'll end with this because I think, it's obviously a silly subject and people aren't going to be interested in it. But look at that. Isn't that awesome? There's our sun, flat earthers. Oops, I meant to leave it going. There we go. Let's slow it down. This is awesome. You need to go check this out. I'll try to put a link. Stop. Slow down. Let me put this on. Turn my volume down. But you can see here, you can speed this up. Where is the speed? Let's do actual time. And close this. There we go. You see, flat earthers? This is how the solar system works. Okay, we have our sun in the center. All the planets. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Look at all of these. Where are these bizarre? Yeah, look at these so far outside of our. And I learned something the other day from looking at this. This Makemake is an object I didn't even know about. Encyclopedia. It's a 7 hours rotation. Solar orbits 310 years. Okay, minus 240 degrees Celsius. But that's just here's another object that's out there. But these things are orbiting our sun. When are we taught this? That is probably obviously discovered later in life when I was in school, from school. But look at this. I can speed this up. Let's see time. I better be careful because I ran out of memory doing this. I put it like 50 years in the future. Isn't that awesome? But that's real. That's real. This is true. I guess what I was going to say is, why can't these people get excited about real life? Why can't they get excited about real science? Why can't they thirst for this knowledge instead of thirsting for some internet cult? These are the questions that interest me. This is what I want to know. Why? 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 Anyway, guys, just a quick video. It's Friday afternoon. We're trying to wind down from the week, and everybody's gone. Alex and his mom went to Wofford for an orientation this weekend. Where's my patch? I ordered a sort of a retro patch for the Terriers, Wofford Terriers. Thought that was awesome. On eBay, I don't think they make these anymore. They might, I don't know. But when I have the house to myself, I get interested. This is the kind of stuff that I start thinking about. What is wrong? I go, why? I start asking why, and that's when I get into trouble. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments.